Today we're going to talk about the power of empathy and the 4C's. But before we start talking and sharing about the power of empathy and the 4C's, I want you to go down and hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to select the bell when you finish watching this video. The power of empathy and the 4C's. We look at the world that we are living in today, and the world is rapidly changing. With the advancement of technology, the landscape of our workplaces are changing significantly. It's changing minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, because of introduction of things like AI and ChatGPT and all of those different softwares that are there that are interfacing with our current work environment, interfacing with the way we educate, interfacing with the way we work, interfacing with the tasks that we are doing and the way we have done things. And it's very important that we do not approach this with like an ostrich with our heads in the sand, but we understand it. So as we understand it, we could juxtaposition ourselves so that we could gain and we could survive and we could exist and our work will continue and our livelihoods will continue. So I'm going to use today's video to shed some light on the power of empathy and the 4C's. You see, no matter what software you write, no matter what robotic software that's out there, no matter what you do, there are key fundamental things that a robotic or an AI or algorithm will not be able to learn. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. The first one is empathy. No matter what, it would not be able to come alongside you. It would not be able to understand the way you think. It would not be able to sympathize with you. It will not be able to transcend on the same wavelength that you're doing. Because those things are of a spiritual nature. And it cannot adapt anything of a spiritual nature. So the key fundamental fact there is to grow spiritually, grow in your understanding, grow in your sense of showing empathy to others, grow in your sense of understanding others in that way, grow in your sense of pouring out love. What I'm saying, the key to the whole formula is love. Learning how to love others. Learning, first of all, how to love yourself, and then go out there and transcend that love into everything that you do. Go out there and learn to use empathy and understanding your relationships in terms of doing your work and in terms of relating with people. And there is no software or no algorithms or no AI software of any kind that will be able to replace empathy. Another thing that we will talk about today is the power of the 4C's. There are 4C's that an AI software or any robotic software algorithm cannot replace in any way. Creative thinking is number one. Creative thinking, the way you think, you have such a unique nature of thinking. Your creator made you so uniquely that you're able to think. And if you train yourself how to think, problem solve, come up with ideas, think outside of the box. Don't stay within the parameters of the box, but think inside of the box. And as you think inside of the box or outside of the box, you will become a modern day Daniel. You'll become a modern day Joseph. You will understand and you will able to bring wisdom, you're able to bring ideas, and you're able to bring concept to the room that nothing could produce that is artificial. The artificial intelligence won't be able to produce that. ChatGPT will not be able to produce that, and no algorithm will be able to produce that. So it's ramping up your sense of creativity, your creative thinking. Learn to think, learn to think, learn to use that wonderful gray matter that you were created with that's better than any computer that will ever be built. And if you learn to actively think and learn how to think outside the box, and you will survive these trying times. Another thing too is learn to be creative. Learn to be creative. Learn to come up with ideas. Learn to write your ideas down. Learn to itemize your ideas. Learn to structure your ideas on paper. Learn to expand on your ideas and learn to utilize your ideas. The more you use them, the more they will grow. The more you'll use your sense of creativity, the better you'll get at it. Because you see, the fundamental fact is there are going to be things that a human being can do in a creative nature that no software, no robot, no chat GDP, no AI software of any kind will be able to do. So you have to step it up a notch and learn to be creative. Learn to fan those flames of creativity. And as you fan those flames of creativity, then you'll become good at it. Learn to be able, not only when you teach, but learn to be able to relate to your students. Learn to understand your students. Learn to know how to interact with people. Learn to know how to add that extra dimension to your customer service. Learn not only that you are going to be at work, just working. Learn to interrelate with your customers. Learn to interrelate and learn to be creative. Learn to listen to what they're wanting and learn to come up with those ideas that helps your customers so that you will stay ahead. You stay ahead, and by staying ahead, then that's where creativity will be able to help you. The other C that we're going to be talking about, the third one, is communication. Learn to communicate. You see, a lot of times we don't like to speak. We don't like to communicate. But communication is not only speaking. Communication has a lot to do with listening as well. You have to be an active listener. You have to listen to what the other person is saying, and you have to understand where their traps and mindsets and all of that. By being able to communicate, you're able to do things that no software or no AI systems could do. Yes, it could do general communication. It might be able to answer the phone and all of those different things and give a dialogue back and forth, but then you wouldn't be able to communicate because it can't show empathy. It can't be creative. It can't do none of those other facets that the human mind can do. So therefore, you're identifying those facets and you're growing those facets. And as you grow those facets will juxtaposition and accelerate you forward. When I say juxtaposition, it could bring you alongside what's happening, and not only bring you alongside it, but it elevates you. So then you could look at what's happening and you get a bird eye view of what's happening. And by getting a bird eye view of what's happening, you could introduce foresight and insight into what's happening. And as a way, you'll stay ahead, because then you're seeing it from a bird's eye view. You're not seeing from the same plane, you're seeing it from an elevated plane. So you're literally like looking over the neighbor's fence and you're seeing what's on the other side. So as a result of that, you're able to utilize that knowledge, and being able to utilize that knowledge, you're able to catapult yourself forward, and you're able to stay relevant. You're able to stay current. You see, the last C that we're going to talk about is collaboration. And collaboration is working together, joining an effort and working together. Unity, the spirit of unity. You realize that the spirit of unity and the spirit of love keeps coming up, because you see, if those facets are common, if they're there, then you'll always have growth. If they're there, you'll always be ahead. When you have division, what happens? You don't harness the expertise of everybody. There is no collaboration, then there won't be any sense of communication. There wouldn't be no sense of creativity, and there would be no sense of creative thinking, because then everybody has to collaborate, everybody has to come together, and everybody has to form an alliance. So you have to form strategic alliances. That means you know people who are good at certain things that you need, and as a result of that, you work together, and by working together, then collectively you're able to survive. Collectively, you're able to move forward. Collectively, you're able to work, and you're able to grow, and you're able to sustain yourself and sustain each other. So it's all about forming that alliance and the collaboration. It's not I'm an island kind of a thing. It's every single person coming together and utilizing their skills and utilizing their know-how in order to advance and go forward. We could sit and we could ponder. We could sit and we could argue. We could sit and we could say we don't want to learn. But between your two ears is the most powerful communication device and the most powerful computer known to man. And your creator have created you and given you that gift, given you those talents. And for years, a lot of times what we do is sit on our talents and we sit on our gifts and we don't utilize them. And it's coming to a front, it's coming ahead, and we have to get to the point where we realize that we have to utilize the talents that we were blessed with, and we have to increase our skill set. We have to go out there and find the niches and find the things that we're good at and become so good at them so that we transcend anything that's around us. Because if you are so good at something and you bring something to the room and you're able to contribute, then it makes a space for you. And if it makes a space for you, then you will survive. If it makes a space for you, then you will thrive. So it's all about thriving and about you growing and you being harmoniously moving forward. And you can't move forward if you don't understand it's always about growth. It's about growth and growing physically. It's about growing spiritually. It's about growing mentally. It's about growing socially. It's about growing economically. It's about growing interpersonally. And as you harness all of those and you bring them together, then you have a unique melting pot. And as you have that unique melting pot, then you have resources and you have everything that will be able to help you to sustain you and your family for tomorrow. So I want you to go out there and learn the power of empathy and the 4C's and have a wonderful growth day. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to select the bell whenever you select the subscribe button so that you will be notified whenever I add a new video. Have an awesome day and God bless you.